there, I'm Florence and welcome to my channel. I'm a watercolor and digital artist and a stay-at-home mom. This video is a nice little paint with me showing how I painted my sunflower fairy, so I hope you enjoy. In this video, I'll also be talking about what inspired me to paint this piece. Finally, I'll have a little story time where I tell y'all about the market I went to that was an absolute fiasco, so that'll be fun. So I had this idea for a sunflower fairy for a while now. I think about a year actually. I don't know why I haven't painted one until now because sunflowers are pretty significant to me. When I was a kid, I remember my grandfather had a huge sunflower garden that I thought was just magical. I can't remember if it was before or after my grandfather's stroke, but he did continue to garden up until he passed away. So I always think of my grandfather whenever I see sunflowers, and that's why I have a sunflower band tattoo in honor of him and that memory. Another reason why sunflowers are one of my favorite flowers, and another person who inspired me to finally paint this, is my best friend. Sunflowers are her favorite flowers as well. If you've seen me at an art market before, she's almost always there to help me. She's my #1 supporter besides my husband, always offering to help me, buying art from my Etsy shop, and she's always been there for me. I would consider my best friend my bosom friend, as Anna Green Gables would say, or a soulmate. I do believe that best friends can be your soulmate and that you can have more than one. My soulmate obviously is my husband. Second soulmate, my best friend. Alright, let's get into this story time. The shit show of an event I went to at the end of September. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, as I am never attending an event in that town ever again. So this wasn't just a case of bad organization, communication. It was also the people there, and I hate saying that, but they just didn't care about art at all. First of all, the organizers reached out to me. I believe it's safe to assume that they are interested in having art vendors when they reach out to artists, right? Yeah. I had to request them to send me the link to the application for the event because there wasn't a clear way to navigate their website. Whatever, that happens. By the way, the event costs $40 to apply. Really not bad compared to most events I've been to. So everything is going smoothly until they send the vendor map. It's in an Excel sheet. An Excel sheet, yeah. It's pretty difficult to look at, let alone navigate. When I checked in for the event, I told them I literally couldn't figure out where I was, and they told me, oh, yeah, it's impossible to read. So they were aware that it wasn't possible to read. In that case, I would suggest maybe fix it so people can read it and know where to go. It also rained the day before, and the place I was at, along with a few other vendors, was super muddy, so they had to relocate us. Again, that sort of thing just happens. I appreciate them trying to adjust to that mishap rather than just tell us to get over it. I arrive, check in where I'm supposed to, and it's in a high school parking lot with some sports fields. I'm driving my parents' pickup truck, which is not a large pickup truck, like how most trucks are. I can barely drive my truck through, in between the two rows of vendors. I had to have people help me so I wouldn't run over people's tents. It was really narrow. Well, I unloaded my stuff, and me and this other vendor can't figure out how to exit and drive back around to the parking area because there's no one. No signs, no instructions, they didn't tell us how to get out. We end up running over this guy's ramp because he has it on the sidewalk. That's the only way to exit, which is great. But we finally figure out how to leave. We park and they take us back to the area on their golf carts. So that was another thing that was really nice of them. And my neighbors were really nice. They helped me set up, and it was incredibly windy, so they tied down my tent as well, which again, really nice of them. Alright, so if you've been to an event that has food and art craft vendors, they would typically be organized in a way that separates them, but there's also a flow of traffic that would guide the foot traffic to the non-food vendors, if that makes sense. Well, I'm in the middle of all these food vendors. There are a few other craft vendors there as well. We were basically invisible because this wasn't marketed as a craft fair. There was a parade, then advertising of the food and the fireworks show. There wasn't any mention of there being small business owners, arts and crafts vendors. It was all focused on food, which is the worst for an art vendor because people there don't care about the crafts or the art. They're there for the food. They want the corn on my left and the tacos on my right. Those vendors were very nice. I'm just saying that I'm invisible compared to them. I leave after an hour. We were supposed to leave after the fireworks, which probably would have been 8:30 to 9 p.m., and I left at 6 p.m. I have never left an event early. I've been doing events for 2 years now, and I never leave. And I don't do it because I think it's rude. You'll be blacklisted. I could go on, but I did not care if I'm never invited to this event or the town's events ever again. I also had people say offhanded comments as they walked by. Some little girls would look excited and try to enter my booth, but their moms would literally yank their arms away. One kid said, "Oh, stickers," and the mom grabbed her and loudly said, "You don't need stickers, they're useless." It's all over now, and I will never go back. I considered writing the organizer an email and telling them to lose my email address, but that seems a bit rude. I thought I'd explain my experience and suggest they organize the booths better so that the art vendors and craft vendors are not lost in the midst of the flashy food vendors. So here's some advice. If you're unsure about an event, email the organizer and ask how the booths are set up, and if non-food vendors will be advertised as well as the food and entertainment. That's pretty important. I went to the Mushroom Festival this past weekend, and they had it separated where there were vendors in the vendor village, there were the people selling mushrooms in the mushroom village, and there was the food court. There ended up not being an organized food court, but they kept the food vendors in a general area together. And that's typically how an event is set up. See if you can find pictures of the event from previous years to get an idea of how it looks, if it appears that they value arts and craft vendors. Talk to other vendors in the area if you can. Thankfully, I networked a bit and learned some information about 2 events in the area to definitely avoid in the future. If you still find yourself stuck at a bad event, try to network as much as you can. That way you take something away from it. Also, if you're applying to an event and it says it's non-refundable, it should state that they'll refund in case the event is canceled, bad weather, etc. If it says it's non-refundable, even in the case of the event being canceled, I'd advise to not apply. let's end on a positive note, shall we? I'm very happy with this painting, and her prints and stickers will be listed in my Etsy shop soon. I also have a 30% off sale going on now because I'm trying to clear out my inventory and some designs are never coming back, so please grab what you can. Like I said earlier, I went to the Mushroom Festival this past weekend, and I will talk about that in my next vlog. It was a lot of fun and I met so many nice people, and the place it was at was beautiful. And the other good news, I will be attending the Witches Night Out event in Bowden, Georgia on October 17th, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and join me the next time for a fun little vlog. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more art making videos, vlogs, and tutorials, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye!